Films like Banglo Seksyen really got you thinking, what really happens in Finas? Hey everyone, I'm Sidhart Joe Dev and this is what I think of Banglo Seksyen. Banglo Seksyen is a 2024 Malay language Malaysian horror film produced by Prisma Pictures. This film is an adaptation of a best-selling novel, Banglo Seksyen by Hasrudi Nawawi. Adapted by Dharma Nasution, directed by Dharma himself alongside Intan Lediana, the film stars Intan Lediana, Mustaqim Bahadun, Fahiz Malek, Haris Hamdan, Silfani Osman, Anik Suhair and Farah Yasmin. Now back in 2006, there was a bungalow in Seksyen 12 where some teenagers died in there weirdly. So the bungalow became a hotspot for many paranormal hunters. One night, an experienced paranormal crew wearing clothes like Ghostbusters shows up at this bungalow to hunt for spirits. Upon reaching there, they find a bunch of headless bodies in the bungalow. The rest of the film is about what happened to these headless bodies in that bungalow and finding the spirit, of course. Now let's talk about the script and screenplay of Banglo Seksyen 12. I have a very low memory of this film, to be honest, but I'll try. The film opens with a montage of animism practice and then you see the title card Banglo Seksyen 12. Am I right? I think so. I don't really remember. This film is not memorable anyway. And then enters a professional paranormal crew. I don't know why they do this professionally, but they look like professionals, so we go with it. Enters Mustaqim Bahadun with the world's worst Northern Malay accent. Mustaqim, if I'm not mistaken, grew up in Perlis and then studied in Kedah, yet he pulled off quite a bad accent. As a Penangat myself, whenever he spoke, I went... And then enters a shrink, which is Dr. Saleha, played by Intan Lediana, who's also the co-director of the film. Okay, so Mustaqim plays this head of this ghost hunting paranormal crew, and Lediana plays this shrink, and they don't get along, which we don't understand why. And then they discover Fahmi, played by Faiz Malik, who will narrate what happened to his paranormal team who came to this Banglo Seksyen 12 before this professional paranormal came over. Fahmi will narrate the entire experience to Dr. Saleha, and it's constantly pressured by Mustaqim, who keeps acting like he's a policeman interrogating a murder suspect. Now, this is just the opening of the film and it's already unbearable. And then we go into flashback where you meet Haris Hamdan, the college senior, who plans this amateur paranormal hunt with a bunch of inexperienced stereotypical characters that will test your patience, because one is a diva, played by Faiz Malik, another one is a bimbo that keeps staring at Haris Hamdan for no reason, played by Silfani, another acha cool guy played by Anik Suhair, and then Snoop Dogg Malay girl version played by Farah Yasmin. Now these characters are caricatures. The makers are not even subtle about how caricatures these characters are. And this is the biggest problem of this film, ladies and gentlemen. These characters and their existence in the script have zero motivation, which gives me zero motivation to watch the film. Okay, the thing is, we've got this horror flick, right? Picture this, a spooky bungalow that doesn't even look spooky, to be honest. It just looks abandoned. I think I have seen a lot more scarier looking bungalow in real life. Now, a bunch of annoying young people do shit because they're just dumb as you would expect. Things go wrong, they die. Have we not seen enough of this horror movie dance before? The setting, the script, the screenplay feels like it's been done to death in horror films, especially in Malaysia. Now this idea of abandoned buildings and young people doing shit is like some weird fetish among Malaysian horror filmmakers that they refuse to let go since we started making horror films in this country. As if this is not enough, we are slapped with another flashback of what happened in 2006. The problem is none, and I swear to God, none of it is interesting to watch. Can you believe it? A non-linear storytelling existing in 3 different timelines, and they're all bad as hell. And then surprise, surprise, there's a massive evil creature doing some dirty work. How original. Banglo Seksyen 12, like any other horror film, plays with the whole is it real or is it just in my head? Betul ke dia hantu ataupun ditipu question, like it's the icing on the cliche cake. It's like they took a bunch of horror movie tropes and then threw it in, and then they just put it in a blender and they said, okay, hit it, repeat. Sure, some folks might find it interesting, find it comforting, this old school horror of the same old scares. But for those who are hungry for something fresh, this feels like a bad leftover, like a very bad leftover. And what's a lot more uninspiring and unoriginal is the backstory of the spirit and how the spirit got trapped in this bungalow. Not scary, not interesting, just boring. The direction of this film is probably the biggest reason why this film failed on so many levels. We all know how sound effects is a huge element in horror film, right? In Banglo Seksyen 12, the sound effects are abused to the maximum to invoke jump scares. Their ideas of jump scares just transition with a lot of sound and sound effects. It's like bam, loud noise, bam, loud noise. Listen, making a horror film is an art. Not everyone is capable of it, and you can't just insert loud noises and make people jump out of their seats and be happy like, ah, you scared scare the audience already. No, I'm just taken by the loud noise, but I'm not scared of anything. Certainly not by this film. Now, the actors are not directed well. Everyone is just doing something. They are just dumb scenes, like Sylphanie goes, Satu, dua, tiga. Half lip. There's also this whole scene where Faiz Malik is in a dilemma to sign a contract. It was just, Jesus, it was just badly directed in the film. Some night scenes are so dark that you barely see anything, and some are way too bright to scare you. And then a random Malay song playing in the background while the team is preparing for this paranormal adventure, like packing their bag. Hello, a 2005 call, and they say they want their filmmaking style back. It's just a lot of bad direction, quite honestly. Now let's talk about the actors. The only good thing in this film was Faiz Malik. He looked convincing in whatever he was doing, be it in the flashback scenes or the present narrative. He does his job well, apart from some scenes, mostly well. But for the others, it was bad. You know, Haris Hamdan, Mustaqim, Intan, Sylphanie, Anik Suhair, Farah Yasmin, they all underperformed, or they just didn't deliver a good performance. And you can't blame them much. With bad script and bad dialogues, like Haris saying dialogues like, korang kena ikut cakap abang, jalan dalam kumpulan, faham?
Dalam tu ada tulis, kalau apa-apa jadi kat korang, korang tak tanggung.
How much can the actors do? But overall, just bad performance. Like every TV3 drama acting that might work for the TV, but not for film. Nah. There's this one scene where Sylphanie suddenly goes missing and Faiz finds her in the middle of the jungle doing some classic Indonesian dance, surrounded by people who looks like they're witches, and there's a fire in the middle of everything, and she's wearing this kabaya or sarong or whatever, and she's doing this half-ass dance, which I've seen some kids on TikTok doing better than her. And Faiz's character just goes, Rin, buat apa ni? Jom balik! Jom balik? Who in the real world would do that? If I see my friend in a traditional costume doing some dance with witches, I'll call my mom and ask her to bring some ustad. Because, what the hell? I'm scared as That's how bad the direction was for the actors. If these are not bad enough, the cinematography is equally painful to watch. The makers are quite proud that most of the scenes are one long take. They don't cut in between, which I feel is the biggest problem of this film. Now, these are long and boring shots and it's stretchy. It's not making you scared or uncomfortable. It's not even cleverly done that it impresses you. So these long shots are not doing anything for the audience. And the color grading feels like they hired an intern or they underpaid the colorist because it's green or it's blue and it's saturated as fuck. The set, the costume, the props, they all belong to late 90s Malay drama or horror drama. Did Finas give some of their leftover props from the 90s? Now, to sum it up, it's frustrating that in 2024, filmmakers expect the audience to consume things that doesn't make sense to anyone. Like, people pay money. You should be responsible for making good cinema. Don't treat your audience like idiots. In my opinion, Banglo Seksyen 12 is evidently bad, and you could tell by the trailer. But that's not even the frustrating part. This film is a part of Finas Arts Incubator project. How? Why Finas funded this film? I know a lot of good storytellers out there who are suffering from funding issues, but this is the kind of film Finas is funding. And Banglo Seksyen 12 is not the only one. Victoria's Secret in 2023, funded by Finas. If you look back and see how many good films Finas has funded, you can tell a lot about how the industry works. Frustrating. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, Banglo Seksyen 12 is... Rasya, a very good local horror film by Shamil Othman, is now available on Astro. Watch Rasya. And Banglo Seksyen 12, you watch it if you want to. Thank you for watching the video. If you would like to watch more reviews and podcasts and a lot more fun stuff, we are KAYPOH on all platforms. KAYPOH!